Hi, everybody. Welcome back to your guided notes from the Hospitality Sales and Advertising book. Uh, my favorite part, of course, is marketing to meeting planners, which is how I got into the field here at Metropolitan State University's hospitality program, because the meeting planners were my clients. And so this is a section of the book that is near and dear to my heart. So chapter 17 talks about, on page 631, talks about why is it so beneficial for hotels, what we call the property, to get business from group meetings. And it's pretty clear that they like that base of business for a variety of reasons. Let's go into them right now. The first one is it's additional revenue. It's not that they get a higher dollar average daily rate from group business. As a matter of fact, you have to discount that rate more than you would for your individual corporate traveler who's coming in to stay at your hotel. But this is what we would call it eases and fills slow periods. Association meetings and SMERF business, they fill what we call valleys in hotel sales. So we really like our group meetings. We like it because we know that if we have a large group in house, that we can keep our employees scheduled and working. And of course, many times for these group meetings, once they find a hotel that works for their group, they come back. It's repeat business. Once again, the association side of the business, found on page 632. Associations are price sensitive for the most part because remember, associations are not mandated to attend a meeting, unlike a corporate meeting. If you work for a corporation, you work for a company, and they say, we need you to attend this training meeting or this new product development meeting, you have to go. With an association, you're looking, will your budget afford you to go? So let's talk about the types of meetings that an association, the types of associations and the types of meetings that they hold. We have trade association. Believe it or not, there's probably over 80,000 different trade associations. For every form of work, there's an association to go with it. Let's give an example. American Dental Association, American Medical Association, American Bar Association. How about the big association here in Colorado, the National Cattlemen's Association? These are people who are in a specific business. They attend those meetings so that they can get their training, do their networking, get their certifications, etc. They have a lot of conventions. The size of the convention will depend on the size of the association, and trade shows are how they earn their revenue. Let's go to the professional and scientific associations. They have a regular, scientific would be, actually, I'm in scientific associations because I'm a social scientist. So I attend the Council of Hotel, Restaurant, and Institutional Educators. We have regular meetings yearly for my Western Federation area. The only time that there would be exceptions is if that the membership isn't strong. Labor unions. I come from Cleveland, Ohio. Labor unions were really big in what we call the Rust Belt, in Ohio, in Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota. That's very heavily very heavily unionized, and meetings usually take place at unionized hotels. When I worked in Las Vegas, we were a unionized hotel. For me to be a front desk clerk, I had to be a Teamster. And when I worked in the food and beverage side, I had to be a culinary member of the culinary union. Also in chapter 17, another form of an association is called SMERF, and that's an acronym. And SMERF is a nonprofit section, and it stands for S is social, military, educational, religious, and fraternal. So social organizations would be like family reunions. Military, obvious, military groups. Excuse me here. And then we have educational. I actually belong to a couple of educational associations. Religious, that's actually has its own organization called RCMA, Religious Conference Management Association. And fraternal would be like, I think, sororities and fraternities. I actually belonged to a sorority and went to many sorority national conventions back in my day of being a college student. Most meetings are arranged by non-professional meeting planners, and they're booked at properties that are off-season. And don't forget, because it's Smurf being that social, they're family affairs. And I got to tell you, one of the biggest growing sections of this business are family reunions because we're spread out all over the place. Corporations, found on page 645 of the text. Well, obviously, companies vary in size and they vary in purpose. They're local, they're state, they're regional, they're national. International corporations like Google is international. They sell products and services. So, type of corporate meetings might be a national sales meeting. Always getting your sales force out there, meeting their quotas, getting them pumped up, and getting them trained to be better salespeople. Regional sales meetings, common. We might have them in the eastern portion, the middle section of the country, the western portion. Training seminars, highly, these are common, really common. And training seminars could be on sales training to better communications skills training. New product introduction. I have to tell you, I had an account, BMW, when I was a director of sales at a property in the East, and they had come out with the new BMW, some Series I. And it was, this car was selling for $100,000, and they wanted to have a special dinner for their new product, which was their new car launch. And I had to get, cars that could sit on these large rotating platforms. And I had to go as far as Detroit to get them because Detroit has those car shows. And there was about 100 people, and all of the people were, their dinner was around the three BMWs that were circulating. And so they could see the cars and they were shiny it was just a beautiful way to launch that new product. It was a lot of fun. A stockholders meeting. Oh gosh, I remember booking a stockholders meeting when I was in Pennsylvania. It was so funny. Matter of fact, the stockholders meeting, it's where people like me, I own stock in Marriott, and they have these annual stockholder meetings. And those of us who own stock, we can attend and have our time at the microphone to talk to the leaders of the company. And I remember there was this one lady. She was a more mature lady, in her 80s, and she never missed a stockholders meeting. And she was always up at that microphone talking to Mr. J.W. Marriott himself. Very, very interesting. Management meetings, not uncommon, especially as companies take over other companies. You have these reorganizations and they hold those meetings. And of course, incentive trips. Even I won an incentive trip once for the amount of sales that I did. I got a trip to Hawaii. It was great. Selling to the meeting planner, which is really what my research has been all about over the years, how I ended up in this hospitality program on the event side, found on 653. It's the most effective way to sell to these associations and corporate planners is to do the following: face to face. Those are relationships that are built over the years, especially with association. They book their meetings years in advance. And you do the dance forever. They may not book with you for 5 years, but soon they'll need to do their rotation into Denver or where I was in Las Vegas or where I was in Philadelphia. They always will rotate to these east, west, north, central. Face-to-face selling can be accomplished in 3 ways. Uh, Personal sales calls right there in their office, sales blitz, which is that you canvass an area, and of course the one that was the one I did for years and years, causing me to travel a great deal, which was in trade show format. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the final slide of our guided notes. I hope that helped you. I look forward to hearing from you on how these videos worked. I've been having a lot of fun recording them, and I will chat with you via email down the road. Thanks a lot. Bye now.